As martial artists, our goal is to take what we practice on the mat and use it in our lives outside of the academy. If we practice focus in class, we should be able to focus on our homework or our work responsibilities. If we practice leadership skills in class, then we should be confident leaders and role models everywhere we go. And the values that suffuse our training should shape our lives. These values are universal: respect, self-control, integrity, honor. And by embracing these shared values, we create a community that transcends our differences. As an ATA member for 37 years, I've developed enduring friendships with people whose race, religion, nationality, or political viewpoints are different from my own. When we enter the dojang and bow onto the mat, we know that we all have an equal opportunity to excel, to lead, and to thrive. But recent days have offered a painful reminder that this equality remains elusive when we leave the training floor. Beyond the mat, African Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans are up to twice as likely as non-Hispanic whites to die from COVID-19. And beyond the mat, Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd on video while Mr. Floyd cried for help and called out for his mother as 3 other officers stood by and a crowd begged Officer Chauvin to stop. During the last 11 weeks, I've worried that this academy, which has been my community, my passion, and my livelihood for 17 years, will have to close its doors forever. I know you have wrestled with similar anxieties. But the burden of these times is not evenly shared. Despite the uncertainty of the last few months, I know how fortunate I am. When I see a police car, the only fear I feel is that I might get a speeding ticket, and only if I have, in fact, been speeding. I don't worry that if I go jogging, I might be shot dead like Ahmaud Arbery. I don't wonder if my wife will be stopped for a traffic infraction and die in a jail cell like Sandra Bland. I don't fear that if my son plays with a toy gun, he might be killed like Tamir Rice. If I ask someone to leash her dog in a public park, there's no chance that she'll call 911 and weaponize my race against me like Amy Cooper did to Chris Cooper. So, what does it mean to embrace universal values at a time of such painful conflict in our country? And how do we carry those values with us when we step off of the mat and into a world exploding with discord and division? Let's consider a few of our life skills in turn. First, respect. We tell our students that respect means we treat others the way we want to be treated. If we truly believe in respect, then we cannot remain silent when others are subjected to treatment that we would not tolerate for ourselves and our children. Second, self-control. We teach our students to de-escalate confrontations and to use physical force only when necessary to avoid harm to ourselves or others. If we expect this restraint from ourselves and our children, then we can also demand it not only from the vandals who are exploiting the protests for their own purposes, but also from the law enforcement officers whom we entrust with our safety. There are police officers everywhere, including at our own academy, who are devoted to building relationships in the communities they patrol and to de-escalating conflict rather than provoking it. I have been moved by the images of officers nationwide who have laid down their batons and knelt or marched alongside peaceful protesters. We should hold them up as role models, and we should demand accountability for the officers who continue to use their status and their strength not to protect or to serve, but to brutalize, terrorize, and dominate. Third, humility. I want every student and family at our academy to feel safe and respected. My staff and I work hard to foster an atmosphere where this is true. But we teach our students in leadership program that humility is an awareness of our imperfections and our capacity for growth. So when we fall short, as we inevitably will, we will do our best to recognize our failures and learn from them. And while it is not your job to educate me, I hope you will trust me enough to confront me and challenge me to change. And finally, honor. How can we honor the memory of George Floyd? We can start by acknowledging that his death was not an aberration. It was part of a long and vicious history of African American men and women being told by those with power that their lives and the lives of their children do not matter. And we can challenge ourselves to ensure that the world our children inherit is more just and more peaceful than the one we inhabit today. Speaking of honor, it is truly an honor for me to be able to teach all of the students here at ATA Martial Arts Leadership Academy. And I can't wait until we can gather again on the mat, and not just on Zoom, and begin the hard work of rebuilding our academy and our community. I am confident that together we can prevail.